right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Tonight, a suburban backyard, the site of the latest black bear appearance. What conservationists think attracted the animal.
Isolated showers and storms have simmered down this evening. The change is coming that will limit any rain chance later this week.
But first tonight, new details into a Marquette High School graduate accused of crashing into a White House barricade with a U-Haul. Police say he had a Nazi flag inside.
It's a little jolting.
Why the suspect says he did it. The 19-year-old suspect will appear in federal court tomorrow. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Tonight, we've learned he traveled to D.C. from St. Louis on a one-way plane ticket. Our Brent Solomon is digging through court documents that reveal what the suspect may have been planning to do. Brent.
And Mike, his name is Cy Condola. The young man from Chesterfield told authorities as soon as he landed at Dulles Airport, he rented a U-Haul and headed to the White House. That's when this happened. A loud and unexpected bang just 500 feet away from the White House fence. Bystanders watching as a U-Haul makes another attempt over the barricades. The man behind the wheel, 19-year-old Cy Condola of Chesterfield, Missouri, now charged with several crimes, including threatening to kill the President of the United States. Tuesday, federal agents executing a search warrant on his home.
I didn't think a quiet guy like that would be able to do something to that degree.
His neighbors tell us they'd just seen him.
Be walking around the neighborhood multiple times a day, so it was pretty frequent that he was walking around. Every time I would make eye contact, he wouldn't really smile, he just kept walking.
Court documents reveal Condola's goal was to, quote, get to the White House, seize power, and be put in charge of the nation. Authorities say he told them that if he had to, he would, quote, kill the president and hurt anyone that would stand in my way. Investigators say Condola had been planning this for 6 months. Tuesday night, these sketch images of Condola appearing in a D.C. courtroom. Witnesses noticed him carrying a swastika, which he reportedly purchased online. He told authorities, quote, Nazis have a great history. He even referenced Hitler as a, quote, strong leader.
I've lived here for 3 or 4 years or so, and I've never felt like uncomfortable or unsafe, but I mean, you'd think by the White House that it's just ridiculous that something like that could happen.
Authorities did not find any weapons or explosives on Condola or in that U-Haul, but they say he told them, quote, whether I got into the White House or not, my message was received.
Tonight, new information in a 2020 boat crash at the Lake of the Ozarks that killed a High Ridge woman. Today, John Bennett of New Haven pleaded guilty to boating while intoxicated, a misdemeanor. A judge sentenced him to 2 years probation and a $1,000 fine. That crash in July of 2020 killed Marie Steinkühler and injured 4 others, including her husband and her then 13-year-old daughter.
Tonight, this man is in police custody, charged in a deadly home invasion in St. Peters. Christopher Harper is charged with murder, armed criminal action, burglary, and assault. Officers found Darren Goshen shot to death in his home on Country Acres Drive early yesterday morning. His wife and 13-year-old daughter were also shot. Investigators say Harper is the boyfriend of Goshen's sister. According to court documents, the victim and his sister had ongoing disputes over money. New information tonight on a deadly crash we reported as breaking news last night at 10. We now know that 3 women were killed in the crash on Newhalls Ferry just north of 270. Police say a Ford Fusion hit a Cadillac SUV head-on. Both drivers and a passenger died. The cause of this crash remains under investigation, but neighbors we spoke with say speeding is a problem in that area.
It is more concern because they're speeding. You get so many of them speeding, even to come up in the subdivision, they'll be flying.
The victims' identities have not yet been released.
Startling findings tonight from the Illinois Attorney General about sexual abuse cases involving Catholic clergy members.
This report reveals the names and detailed information of 451 Catholic clerics and religious brothers who abuse at least 1,997 children across all of the dioceses in the state of Illinois.
149 of those priests had never been publicly named by the church. The Survivors Network of those abused by priests says the new report proves the Belleville Diocese omitted the name of Frederick Lazinski, a convicted child sex offender, from a list of abusive priests.
We begged Bishop McGovern to put Lazinski on the list, and he has so far refused.
We might have some record that he served here, but we may not be aware of the allegation against him. I offer my most profound apology for anyone who's ever been harmed.
Illinois did away with the statute of limitations for sex crimes against children, but that only applies to future crimes.
Well, tomorrow marks 1 year since 19 children and 2 teachers were killed inside their classroom at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas.
Surveillance video shows police waited in the hallway for more than an hour as the 18-year-old gunman opened fire. Tonight, Wendy Woolfolk reports on how the victims' families are still waiting for answers and accountability.
The pain in Uvalde for so many is still overwhelming.
It's been a nightmare that, like you can't wake up from it.
A year ago, 19 kids and 2 of their teachers went to bed. The following day, their families left behind to live that nightmare. A year later, they still wonder why.
We realize you still don't have the answers that you need, and it's frustrating to all of us. For that, I apologize.
No apology can make up for the lack of information and the lack of accountability after the massacre inside Robb Elementary on May 24th, 2022.
It's been an emotional roller coaster.
Hard to fathom how an 18-year-old armed with an assault rifle walked into the school, gunned down 19 children and 2 teachers, while police officers waited more than an hour to confront the shooter.
Our 10-year-old daughter, Amory Jo Garza, was shot and killed by an assault rifle.
Families sharing horrific details of the killing spree with state lawmakers, urging them to raise the legal age to buy a semi-automatic assault rifle from 18 to 21.
What sense does it make to give a child access to that kind of firepower?
Tragically, 19 students won't make it to their 20s.
He's not here to help dry our eyes, to help put a smile on our face, and it's devastating.
Devastation that keeps them fighting for answers and change, no matter how long it might take. Wendy Woolfolk, NBC News, Uvalde.
President Biden will remember the victims tomorrow during a ceremony at the White House. He's expected to reiterate his call for Republicans in Congress to do more to address gun violence in the United States.
New developments tonight and then ongoing negotiations in Washington over the nation's debt limit. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has warned that the nation could run out of money to pay its bills by June 1st if Congress doesn't act. Tonight, some House Republicans are questioning if that's really a hard deadline, and they're now calling on Yellen to come to Capitol Hill to explain how she came up with that date.
People who live in St. Louis City could see a 40% increase in their water bills. The city's public utilities director went before the Board of Aldermen this week to propose a 20% hike, one in July, the other in January. He says the city can't keep up with rising costs and declining infrastructure, like what caused a massive water break on I-64 near Dogtown earlier this month. A bill has yet to be filed.
Tonight, we're getting more reports of black bear sightings in Jefferson County. For nearly a week, police and conservationists have been warning residents to be on the lookout.
New tonight, our Robert Townsend talked to a Festus man who had a personal encounter with a black bear this morning.
Josh Johnson and his wife woke up early Tuesday morning to an unexpected visitor outside their home in Jefferson County.
She came in the bedroom, woke me up and said there's a bear in the front yard. I thought she was kidding me.
Nope, she wasn't kidding. His wife whipped out her cell phone and caught the wild creature on video, rummaging through their dumpsters. Josh snapped photos of the huge, hungry bear.
Sure as hell, I looked out and seen a big bear, and I was like, okay. I mean, I didn't know what to think.
Before he took off, he said that thing also went across his neighbor's front yard. And late this afternoon, police were still out here looking for that bear.
They were just really glad I wasn't sitting on the porch.
This afternoon, Dana Templeton's hysterical neighbor called her screaming. She saw one walking across Templeton's front yard on England Drive.
I have deer in our yard occasionally, but no bears.
Police beeline to the neighborhood, but by the time they got there, the bear was gone.
It's the first time I heard of them. I knew bobcats and occasionally mountain lions, but I didn't know anything about bears.
Conservationists say such sightings are happening more frequently across the Show Me State as the bear population grows.
They're looking for territory and just exploring.
Still, human-bear interactions can be dangerous. That's why conservationists say never feed or approach bears. Keep food, garbage, and recycling items secured. And if you come face to face with one of these,
Make noise, let it know you're there, and it'll most likely just go along its way.
hopefully for good, because neighbors don't want to bear this any longer. How long was he out here?
About 5 minutes.
Robert Townsend. You hope he's leaving soon?
Very soon.
5 on your side.
About 30 minutes ago, neighbors told us they heard a bear was apparently struck by a car along I-55 in Festus. This happened around 7 o'clock tonight. We've reached out to police to confirm. We're still waiting to hear from them.
What's lurking in the water? Tonight, our I-Team puts your drinking water to the test.
And it's something we need to get a handle on.
The substance we found caused by everyday products, and how you can be part of the solution. He caught his flight on time, but tonight an Illinois man is facing some turbulence with the law for his mode of transportation to the airport.
A little bumpy for some of us late this afternoon and this evening, but most of us are going to see a stretch of dry weather heading towards Memorial Day weekend. The surge towards summer coming after the holiday.
For months, we focused on radioactive waste from water in Coldwater Creek. It's led to the closure of an elementary school and calls from Congress for more research. Our I-Team wanted to know more about the safety of drinking water across other parts of the bi-state area.
So for months, we've been working with a research group to test 31 sites. Tonight, senior investigative reporter Paula Vassan brings us the results, which found something else lurking in your water.
We drink it every day, often without a second thought. But should we think more about what's in it? In a months-long investigation, we worked with a team of researchers and scientists. We analyzed drinking water from 31 locations around St. Louis, mainly North County, testing for microplastics.
Have you ever heard of microplastics?
No, I don't think so.
Absolutely not. Yes.
Yeah, kind of.
Not everyone's so sure. Microplastics are extremely small pieces of plastic found in our water supply. They're less than 5 millimeters in length, about the size of a sesame seed or smaller, the result of consumer products and industrial waste.
So what did the study show? Of the 31 drinking water samples collected, 87% had so-called normal levels of microplastics, pretty much within the range of what you'd find in most of the country. One location in North City had a level 3 times as much. Researchers say it could be due to a number of things, most likely the pipes within the home. They'll be doing more testing to find out. Less than 10% had no detectable levels of microplastics. The overall findings line up with national trends. About 90% of our drinking water has microplastics.
This is truly a ubiquitous problem across the United States and across the world.
Charles Miller is with the Missouri Confluence Waterkeeper, a nonprofit advocating for clean water. His team led the testing.
And it's something we need to get a handle on in terms of, how we produce, dispose of, and control plastic waste.
Jason Kinoff, a scientist with St. Louis University, has found there are higher concentrations of microplastics where more people live.
And so it's disproportionately affecting urban systems, and that's of concern.
The World Health Organization says there's no known risk of microplastics, but there's also not a lot of data. Scientists have urged more research.
And that's, I think, the thing that is most worrisome is that we're not certain what's happening with these microplastics.
For now, Kinoff says the number one thing each of us can do is to limit how much plastic we use. His tips: use stainless steel water bottles, reusable grocery bags, and glass or aluminum when possible.
Are you going to work to reduce your plastics consumption?
I try to recycle when I can.
I don't really buy bottled water when I'm at home.
I don't take plastic bags when I shop.
I always have this big metal bottle with me.
Many people say it's going to take government action to limit plastics in a big way. I interviewed a Missouri lawmaker who's been trying to curb the sale of plastic bags here in Missouri. She's tried and failed for 7 years. At least 12 states have banned single-use plastic bags. For the I-Team, Paula Vasan, 5 on your side.
And as Paula mentioned, the water testing was done by the Missouri Confluence Waterkeeper. That group partnered with the University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana, and funding for the project came from the Missouri Foundation for Health. If you have a tip for Paula and the 5 on your side I-Team, you can leave a voice message at 314-444-5231, or you can email Paula at tips@ksdk.com, and all calls and correspondence will be kept confidential.
Tonight, a Southern Illinois man is accused of stealing a backhoe to catch a flight, and police say it was all caught on camera. The Williamson County Sheriff's Office says Timothy Baggett of Carbondale took the backhoe from a construction site in Marion. Then he drove it 10 miles to Veterans Airport of Southern Illinois, grabbed a guitar case, hopped on a flight to the West Coast. Airport officials called police after finding the construction equipment in the parking lot. Baggett, who is still not in police custody, has been charged with felony theft.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with that weather first forecast as we inch closer to the holiday weekend.
Yes, we're getting closer, and tonight we actually had some showers and thunderstorms pop up across parts of the area. There's still a couple of little cells out there, but look at that time lapse out of Lambert. As you can see, some of those showers developing and a brief downpour or two. Some of us saw that even with some hail. You can see them coming down there as we watch those showers and thunderstorms move to the northwest around the metro area. Here's another shot from Rob's position out at Lambert, St. Louis International Airport. You see the rain shaft in there. Looks like it's right down at the end of the runway. One of those things you kind of watch, and it looks really interesting. They didn't have a lot of wind with them. They just had some downpours, some small hail. Most of that's gone away, but not all of it. Just within the last half hour to 45 minutes, we've had a couple of little cells pop up. One right down here into Arnold. It's going right along the Merrimack River. That's moving towards Fenton, and it could end up in Valley Park if it will hold together. The other one developed right here along the Mississippi River, and it's moved through Old Monroe and now drifting in towards Winfield, right up Highway 79. But that's it. There are no other showers out there, no other thunderstorms. They should go away pretty quickly. 76 degrees, our current temperature. We never got a drop of rain officially at Lambert, 85 for the afternoon high. Tomorrow we're starting out in the upper 50s to lower 60s. We'll call it partly cloudy to mostly clear for much of the overnight once we get done with these last couple of showers. Tomorrow, we warm quickly. We're back around 80 degrees by 10 o'clock, into the mid-80s tomorrow by lunchtime. We do have a backdoor cold front that's coming our way, but tomorrow the focus is going to be a little bit farther to the west, out towards mid-Missouri and out towards Lake of the Ozarks for a spot shower or thunderstorm. That dry air keeps funneling our way as we head into Thursday. We will start with just a few clouds around, comfortable conditions. We're staying in the 70s on Thursday. It'll be a rather refreshing breeze. And again, your focus for any showers and thunderstorms, that's all to our west, which means we're set up for a really nice evening in downtown St. Louis. It's St. Louis's healthiest happy hour, the Biz-5K, right outside City Park. Man, that's going to be a nice evening Thursday. And if you have Memorial Day plans, this weekend is looking quite nice. Temperatures are very reasonable. We'll start to warm up, get a little more humid as we head towards early next week. But you look at the next 10 days and, you know, temperatures drop off into the 70s for highs here Thursday and Friday, and then they gradually increase. After we get past Memorial Day, it's going to feel more like summertime in St. Louis. Back into the upper 80s, perhaps some lower 90s. Humidity also increases towards the end of next week. That means our chance for a scattered shower or thunderstorm will also increase. But again, no big storm systems that we can see at this point.
All right, looks like a beautiful weekend.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Thank you, Scott. Sports is coming up.
Big sportscast coming your way. Goldie hitting, Ozzie talking, and Tatum shooting. Stick around, please.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
When you can really hit, it's like getting flowers for your spouse. It can compensate for your shortcomings. Like tonight in Cincinnati, the Cardinals lost their manager, their third baseman, and Adam Wainwright gave up 5 runs. Didn't matter. They can mash, particularly this guy. Now, Paul Goldschmidt had been in a 1-for-21 funk, make it 2 for his last 22. Cardinals led it 1-0 in the first. Goldie is as streaky as Will Ferrell in Old School. Third inning, another solo shot. His 9th. The Cardinals were rolling. Now, at the end of the inning, Nolan Arenado got tossed by umpire Will Little, whose strike zone was bigger than Shaquille O'Neal. Then Ali Marmol got tossed, but the Cardinals kept hitting. Tommy Edman triples in, Paul DeYoung and Brendan Donovan to balloon the lead to 6-3. Edman 2 hits and 3 RBIs. Ryan Helsley loaded the bases in the 9th inning. It got tense, but he got the ground ball from Jonathan India. Waino did win his 197th game. Cardinals win 8-5. Hey, let's head to Busch Stadium. And here's something you don't see very often. Kids playing chess against police officers. Close to 40 kids from 3 schools in the area were involved in the Chess Cops program. There were 5 grandmasters on hand. It was put on by that man, Rex Singfeld, from the St. Louis Chess Club. And he had some Cardinals on hand, too. Ozzie Smith and Al Rabowski, John Costello, and Jason Simontachi. A lot of benefits from this day.
They're getting these kids now at an early age, and they're excited about it. And the fact that they're allowing them to play with the Grand Masters and the police department is really, really neat.
Terrific way for children to see police and for police to see the children. It's on a level footing. It's not in a confrontational manner. Well, there is confrontation over the chessboard, of course.
There's only one group of players that goes home happy after the NBA season, the world champions. And with the Celtics entering tonight's game down 3-0 to the Miami Heat, it looked really bleak. But you just had a feeling Jason Tatum wasn't going down without a fight. A-Rod and Jeter on hand in Miami, and Jason did not disappoint. This was his first bucket in the fourth quarter of the series. He was the best player on the floor tonight, though. 34 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Boston makes it a 3-1 series with a 116-99 victory to Dallas for Game 3 of the Western Conference Final in the NHL. Do you remember Ivan Barbashev? He's been a monster in the postseason. That's his 5th goal of the playoffs. Later, it's Alex Pietrangelo, another blue from Barbie. Vegas wins 4-0. They lead the series 3-0. One of the headline drivers for next weekend's Enjoy Illinois 300 is Denny Hamlin. Hamlin won the Coca-Cola 600 just about a year ago, driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. Now Hamlin owns his own race team, and he's influenced by the Hall of Fame Redskin coach, who was also an assistant right here under Don Coryell.
He's got talent in his building. He trusts the people that he's got hired, the managers, to give him the proper advice. And then he ultimately makes the coach decision. So I started my own race team in the Cup Series 3 years ago because I wanted to model it after what Joe Gibbs and Joe Gibbs Racing does.
High school baseball, Sullivan in town facing John Burroughs. Big hit early by Jack Anger up the middle, scores 2 for the Bombers. And on the mound, Julian Schneck was an ace. Here's one of his many, many strikeouts. Burroughs rolls to a 10-0 lead in 5 innings. They win it 10-0 in 5 innings to advance. They've not lost a game in Missouri all season long. Lacrosse state semifinals, SLU and MICDS. Danny Kars for the Junior Bills snipes that one for a goal. Then it's the number 9 for the other team, Graham Faust, who scores for MICDS. Rams going to win it 15-4 to head to the finals later this week. And that will do it in sports.
All right, Frank, thanks.
Coming up, this bud's for you, but it's not on you. How you can score some free beer this weekend.
And a reminder, the annual Folds of Honor campaign is now underway. You can round up at the register or use Scan to give coupons at any area Schnuck store through May 30th. Money raised provides scholarships for spouses and children of fallen or wounded service members and first responders. 5 on Your Side is a proud partner of the campaign. Netflix fans, you've been warned. Tonight it's official, the streaming service is now cracking down on password sharing in the U.S. If you use the account of someone you don't live with, You can be added to that account for an extra $8 a month.
You can get some free buds this Memorial Day weekend. Anheuser-Busch is offering $15 rebates on 15 packs or larger of Bud Light, Budweiser, and Bud Select. The giveaway comes as sales have plummeted in the wake of a controversial social media partnership with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney. You can apply for the rebate on Bud Light's website.
The Cardinals are heating up, and now you can enjoy some home games for as low as $6. Right now, the team is holding a Ticket Fest sale at the Cardinals website. You can get all-inclusive tickets as low as $60. They've been playing a lot better lately. Because,
Thank goodness.
Yes.
That
Otherwise,
was
people may
scary.
not be buying those tickets.
I think did they get to like $6 at one point? Or
Yeah, I
$5?
think some of them did,
Yeah.
but they're starting to go up again, I'm sure. And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis from 4 to 7 a.m. and have a great tomorrow.